So don't buy these lights unless you've read the reviews or you've watched this video and you've done some research into them, because there's a really high chance they're going to fail on you. The lights I'm talking about is the Godox Pro 400, the one with the battery pack, and that's the important part. So let me give you a bit of background. I haven't used Godox before, and I was commissioned to go on a shoot to do lighting. The budget didn't stretch for me to bring my own lighting. I normally bring like Aperture LEDs, or I can bring Pro Photo. So I was using the photographer's lighting. They had some Godox Pro 400s. They've previously tested in the studio, so they knew they were working. 8 people, 4 models. It was on location. The location had been paid for. Like, there was a fair amount of budget that had gone into this. And no one wants any of their shoots to fail. So you want your equipment to work. I wouldn't normally want to go to a shoot and use equipment I've never used before, unless it was coming from a rental house where I know it's been tested regularly whilst the models are in hair and makeup. Put a couple of hits on stands. I touched the battery pack, didn't seem to turn on. I read the manual, didn't seem to turn on. I did everything I could to try and get the batteries to turn on when it's attached to the head. And I thought, okay, they're just dead. So I asked the client, when were they charged? It's like they were on charge the other day. I tested them in the studio. So we put the packs on charge. It looked like it was charging. Left them for like 30 minutes, plugged one back in just to check again. The light wouldn't switch on. Meanwhile, like, I'm doing all the other things I would need to do to get my shoot ready, right? I've got everything on stands. I've got my gels up, trace frames, and so on. Planning what the photographer wants the shots to be, just knowing, okay, as soon as the lights come back online, I'll get this to work. The short version of this is the lights never came on again. The batteries are dead. When I said this to the client, they were a bit panicky. Fortunately, I had another pack with me, completely separate brand, which I don't need to mention right now, but I bought one light with me just in case. I don't know, it's a good thing I did, but I just have a feeling sometimes if the photographer's supplying their own equipment, I want to know I've got something that works just in case. The client, the photographer, is just looking online. It's just like, there seems to be a lot of people saying this is how you fix the battery pack. There's like hundreds of reviews online of people saying the batteries die. They either die immediately, they die if you haven't charged them properly and you store them, they just die randomly. So I started doing a little research, right? I looked on the B&H website. There's a lot of reviews that say exactly the same thing. The battery just suddenly died. Or I got the heads, turned them on, the batteries just didn't ever work. Or I didn't use my lights for like 2 weeks. They were fine. I took them out of storage. I put the batteries back on. The batteries are dead. There's just loads and loads and loads of reviews. So I really say to you, like, so if you're thinking about getting these lights, really do your research. I know the cost of them is low. I'm looking right now, it's like $530 in America. It's 640 euros in Europe. That's relatively cheap, but you're going to be replacing something. The batteries are expensive. I'm not the kind of person that wants to just hate on kit, right? I'm not like, Nikon's worse than Canon or Fuji's the best camera in the world. I like Pro Photo lighting because I'm just used to using it. I've used it forever. But that's not why I'm making this video. I'm trying to make this video so people don't end up with lights that just fail on them and they're on the shoot. Because this is the thing, right? The photographer was saving some money by not bringing my lights. But if I hadn't bought my single pack with me, the whole shoot would not have been able to happen. Because it's a Sunday, we're in Germany, nothing's open, no rental stores are open, we can't get any more equipment, we would have had to shoot available light, it would have been a disaster. So you have to weigh up the costs of, okay, if these lights fail for me when I'm on a client shoot, how bad is that for my reputation? Will I lose the money of the shoot? Do I have a backup? My recommendation, if you have the lights, is to keep some kind of backup with you, not a Godox backup, because there's no guarantee that the batteries are going to work. Also, I posted this on my TikTok because, like I said, I don't want to hate on product. That's not a good thing. And also, I really know what it's like when you're starting out and you need lights and you've got a small budget and you just want to get going. I totally understand that. I used to use like DIY lighting from anywhere I could get hold of it. And I used Bowen's cheap lighting at the very beginning. I know people that have used like Interfit, just random brands. I totally understand that's what you need to establish your like career. So I posted on my TikTok about this. And the comments are like, I'd say like 75% of people going, yes, I've had the same problem. 25% of people going, I've had no problem at all. I've had them like 6 years. I'm definitely not saying this happens to all the Godox range or all of these batteries, but it seems that the batteries just die. They die randomly. I don't think you should buy this product without doing research and knowing you've got some kind of backup and always taking something else with you on a shoot. If this is totally against your experience, feel free to let me know in the comments. I've looked on sites where they're selling them. There's a ton of reviews that are like 4 stars. Yeah, it's great, cheap, and it works. And there's a lot of reviews that are saying it dies all the time. And the reason I'm saying this also, a lot of people contacted me. They start watching the videos and they're like, I'm getting into lighting. What lighting should I buy? And I thought Godox were okay. I'd never used them before, but I've seen good things about them. I knew they were cheap. And I was like, I've heard good things about Godox. Try it. So I'm not saying that anymore. I'm saying don't get these unless you've done your proper research on it and you're willing to take the risk that they're going to die on you on a shoot.